everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of PBM's Homie Reviews, a series to review and talk about movies. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite shows from PBS Kids, and I'm of course talking about Clifford the Big Red Dog. And today's movie we will be talking about is the live-action movie of Clifford the Big Red Dog. No, not really, I'm joking, come on, y'all should know better than that. No, I'm actually talking about a Clifford movie back in 2004, and I'm of course talking about Clifford's Really Big Movie. So, without further ado, let's jump into the history of Clifford's Really Big Movie. But first, I'm going to talk about a little bit of history of Clifford the Big Red Dog. So, Clifford the Big Red Dog is based on the American children's book series back in 1963 and was written by Norman Birdwell. And ever since then, Clifford has been Scholastic's official mascot. And due to the books being a big success, Scholastic decided to make an educational TV show for children, and so Clifford the Big Red Dog TV series was born. So Clifford was originally aired on PBS Kids back in September 4th of 2000, and although the series stopped production on February 25th of 2003, PBS Kids continued to air reruns of this series until 2022. Select PBS member stations still continue to carry the show. Fun fact, a UK version dubbed with British voice actors replacing the original American voice actors originally aired on BBC Two in April 2002. And just like with some, if not most successful TV shows, Clifford has received his own theatrical movie, which we will talk about that right now. So Clifford's Really Big Movie was originally released in theaters back in February 20th of 2004 by Warner Brothers and Scholastic, and this film grossed $3.3 million at the box office and received mixed overall critical reviews. And now we'll talk about the home media products. So Clifford's Really Big Movie was finally released onto home media back in August 24th of 2004 on VHS and DVD, distributed by Warner Home Video. Then on April 29th of 2005, it was reprinted onto DVD once again, but this one is a mini DVD disc version. It's basically a 2-disc. Disc 1's probably the feature film, and then disc 2 is probably the special features. Those discs, the mini-size disc, they're basically the same size as a GameCube disc, if you think about that. Anyways, then on May 15th of 2007, it was reprinted by Warner Home Video once again at its normal size disc, just like with the 2004 version and stuff like that. And then apparently back in September 8th of 2015, it was reprinted onto DVD, but not by Warner, it was by Universal Studios for some reason. And there is also a DVD case version of the movie with a fun activity book, and there is also a DVD copy with a Valentine's Day slipcover. And now we got the history part out of the way, let's jump into my copy of Clifford's Really Big Movie. Alright, we will now jump into my copy of Clifford's Really Big Movie. So, here it is. So here we have the front poster art. It looks really nice. Clifford's Really Big Movie title card. And this right here says, young children will snuggle up in this movie's cozy good cheer. Says A.O. Scott, the New York Times. And then here we have Clifford himself. Then here we have Emily Elizabeth, Cleo and T-Bone. And then here we have Larry's Amazing Animals. This one's Dirk, I believe. And then this one's Shackelford. And then this one's Dorothy. I forgot who the Chihuahua is. But yeah. And at the bottom, here we have Warner Home Video. Or Warner Brothers. Then here we have award winner thing. It's not a sticker, it is printed on the front poster art. Spine, Scholastic, scrolling down here, Warner Brothers logo. Then here's the back. Blurb if you want to pause and read that. Brings the Big Red Dog, beloved by children from Norman Birdwell's books and the TV series, to the screen with style and charm, says Kevin Thomas from Los Angeles Times. And then here we have the back. Here we have Clifford, Larry, and his amazing animals. And here we have T-Bone and Cleo. Where's Shackelford? He got left out. Because he's not in the back post art, unfortunately. But of course he is on this, this billboard poster, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, special features listed at the back. Movie is rated G, both in the United States and Canada. And Like all the DVDs in the United States and Canada, it is region 1. And here's disc. Pretty nice. And yeah, in the case, it's a Blockbuster case, in case y'all were curious. Yeah. Well, I got this at a movie train company, so yeah. Anyways, we will now jump into the menu tour for Clifford's Really Big Movie. Alright, we have now jumped into the menu tour for Clifford's Really Big Movie. So here I have Play Movie, Scene Selections, Special Features, and Languages. Let's go to Scene Selection, like we always do. So we have 5, 10, 15 scenes to choose from. Next, let's go to Special Features. For our Special Features, here we have Inside the Doghouse Behind the Scenes, Clifford's Really Big Movie Read Along. Music videos, let's go to that real quick. Here we have Big Time Sing Along Version, Cleo's Crafts, and the theatrical trailer for the movie. Last but not least, languages. Here we have for spoken language, English, French, and Spanish. It's probably Dolby Digital 5.1, if I'm not mistaken. And then subtitles, English, French, or Spanish. And then over here we all basically all that cover information and the link to the Warner Home Video website. And that's it for the menu tour for Clifford's Really Big Movie. Now, one thing I want to mention, this DVD copy, this is actually a reprint from 2007, in case some of you were curious. I looked at the copyright information and it said reprint from 2007, which of course, I gotta say, even though this is a Blockbuster case, I'm pretty sure if it was an original case, it would have, of course, the original case and stuff like that, which of course, that definitely, the case for the 2007 reprint, it definitely beats the case from 2004, because the original DVD copy from 2004, it had like a cardboard DVD case, and it was just, I mean, well, I wouldn't say terrible. It's just the case. It'll easily break, you know. So I think nowadays it's best to get DVDs with, of course, strong DVD case. You know, not eco-friendly cases or cardboard cases. You know, yeah, that's just my suggestion. You know. Anyways, it's time to talk about my review and thoughts on today's movie. So let's have a talk about the story plot first. So what is this story basically about? So we see Clifford, Cleo, and T-Bone, and Emily Elizabeth and her friends, like, having a great time at the carnival and everything, and then one day they all saw Larry's Amazing Animals, and basically it's about Larry and his animals putting on a show and everything, and then things started to go wrong and everything, but Clifford and the others thought it was pretty cool, and so Clifford and his dog friends all wanted to meet them and stuff like that. And then Shackleford, the blue ferret, he gives them an advertisement, like if they ever wanted to like join their team and everything, they're always welcome. But then Clifford and his pals decided to stay home, and then Clifford one day overheard his neighbor Mr. Bleakman saying that Clifford has been eating like so much or whatever he mentioned and stuff like that. And Clifford started to worry, and so he thought about the whole Tummy Yummies contest and everything. So he decided to enter into that. But to do that, he has to find Larry's Amazing Animals. And so the next morning, Clifford and Cleo and T-Bone, they all decided to leave Birdwell Island and go to the mainland and find Larry's Amazing Animals. And then eventually they found them. and yeah. And meanwhile, back in Birdwell Island, Emily Elizabeth was wondering where Clifford went and everything. And meanwhile, Clifford and his friends all helped out with the show and everything. And then one night, Larry's Amazing Animals put on a show, and then when things started to go wrong again, Clifford came to the rescue. And then, as every show was like put on, and whenever everything goes wrong or something like that, Clifford comes to the rescue, and then Shackleford, he gets all jealous and stuff like that. And then when he sees the new billboard or something like that, Clifford was of course in the middle while Shackleford was like looking up at him, and then Shackleford, he was appalled, he was jealous, and so yeah. And then when Clifford tells Shackleford about the news about the whole Tummy Yummies thing, and then Shackleford was like, "Oh, we don't need your help anymore. We were all better off without you." So yeah, he really, yeah, he really threw him under the bus, or whatever, you know. Basically, he was pretty harsh on him, and so Clifford he decided to go home, but then Cleo and T-Bone told him that Larry's Amazing Animals wouldn't win without him and everything, and so Clifford decides to go back, helps them, and then of course eventually Larry's Amazing Animals won the contest and everything. So yeah, but then something mischievous happened. A man named Mr. George dognaps Clifford, and so it's up to Cleo, T-Bone, and his Amazing Animals decide to rescue him. I mean, at first Shackleford didn't care, but then he realized about like Clifford belonging to about. Then when Cleo told him that she, Clifford, and T-Bone have owners and stuff like that back on Birdwell Island, Shackleford decides to of course help them rescue Clifford and everything, and yeah. So at the end, when Clifford was saved, Emily Elizabeth gets reunited with Clifford, and of course Sheriff Lewis and Miss Stiller get reunited with their dogs too, and of course and then after that everybody headed for home. So what do I think about the story plot? I thought the story plot was really good in my personal opinion. Yeah, thought it had a great story and a pretty great adventure too. Now let's talk about the characters. Now, of course, we all know, of course, Clifford, Cleo, T-Bone, Emily Elizabeth, and Mr. Bleakman, and a couple of other characters that were in the original Clifford TV show, you know. But unfortunately, there was this one character. It's a blue dog named Mac. He unfortunately did not make in this movie. It's kind of like with you know how Edward the Blue Engine is not in Thomas and the Magic Railroad. You know, it kind of reminded me of that. You know, like we have like a character that everyone has. Like basically, what I'm trying to say is like, for example, we've known Max since like the beginning of the original Clifford TV show on PBS, but that character never appeared in the first theatrical movie. You know, if y'all know what I'm trying to say, you know, like that's basically my point. Yeah. But anyways, and what do I think about the new characters? I thought the new characters were pretty good. I thought Shackleford was pretty cool character. Even though, of course, although he was jealous and was pretty harsh to Clifford and everything, he's still a pretty good character. I still like him. And of course, I love the Chihuahua. I love Dirk. I think he's a dachshund, I believe, just like Hunley from the Curious George TV series back in like 2006 and stuff like that, you know. And of course, Dorothy. She's a pretty good cow. And then, of course, Larry, Gable Gobble, pretty great man. Definitely knows how to take care of animals and stuff like that. So yeah. So I thought the new characters in the Clifford franchise was pretty good. Now let's talk about the animation. The animation, of course, it's different compared to the original Clifford TV show back on like PBS and stuff like that, you know. And I gotta say, the animation is really good. Like they really, yeah. I mean, when it comes to theatrical movies, you gotta have different animation, you know. I mean, it depends on what it is, you know. Yeah, it really depends. So overall, pretty great animation. And now let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is incredible. And out of all the songs, my all-time favorite it's the one, I believe, from Kyle Gordon. I think that's his name. It's called Until I Go. I really, really, really love that one. That one's probably definitely my favorite out of all the songs in this movie. Definitely really good. And now onto my final thoughts. So overall, do I recommend Clifford's Really Big Movie?
Well, one thing I want to mention, this movie, it's actually supposed to be like the finale of the original Clifford TV show. And one thing I want to mention, some of you may know John Ritter. He unfortunately died on September 20 something 2003. He died in like I think in his like 50s or something like that. Anyways, my point is, if I'm not mistaken, this movie was put into production somewhere in like mid 2003. It's probably before John Ritter died, and then the movie was finally released in February 2004. If I'm getting the pieces together, yeah. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how like movie productions work. Like they gotta of course make the movie and then figure out like when the movie will be released in theaters or home media, whatever, you know. So anyways, back to the question: do I recommend Clifford's Really Big Movie? Well, if you're a fan of the original TV show of Clifford the Big Red Dog, feel free to watch this one because this movie, I gotta say, really great animation, good soundtrack for sure, and and I love the adventure in this movie. Definitely a good one. And I'm glad that they used like the voice actors like John Ritter, Gray Griffin, and a couple of other voice actors that did the characters from the original show. Yeah. But of course, if you haven't seen the original Clifford Clifford show yet, but if you want to watch this one, I would say, well, one thing I want to also mention, there's also a prequel TV show called Clifford's Puppy Days, where it takes place is in where Clifford used to be a puppy and hanging out with some old friends, and it takes place like not on Birdwell Island, somewhere in like the big city or something like that, you know. Anyways, like if you want to get like the whole story of the original Clifford during like Clifford's original early PBS era or whatever, I would say watch the prequel series first, then watch the original, and then you could jump right into the movie because I thought the movie was a pretty good way to end the the original era of Clifford. Anyways, so overall, if you're a Clifford fan just like I am, feel free to watch this one because I out of all the Clifford movies, like this animated movie by Warner Brothers and then the live action movie from Paramount, I would say the Warner Bros is definitely better than the live action Paramount movie. I mean, not to say the Paramount live action Clifford's bad. It just wasn't my personal taste, you know. It was just odd. It was just the live action one was different. So so overall, this movie definitely beats the live action movie. Anyways, that about wraps up this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.